All right, today we are continuing talking about interpreting fractions as division. Yesterday you practiced, and today we're going to start. We're going to look at the division sentence 5 divided by 6. I've already placed 5 divided by 6 here. Please explain to yourself as you think through the video why it is 5 divided by 6 rather than 6 divided by 5. Right here, this number is my dividend. It also represents my numerator. The 6 is my divisor and my denominator. So on this first slide that you're working through, you are matching the division equation to how to write the fraction equation. All right, we'll move to the next slide. Let's look at the problem 18 divided by 4. If you look over here at your answer choices, which one of these is the same thing as 18 divided by 4? If you said 18 divided by 4 as a fraction, you are correct. Your next step would be to simplify this. How many times will 4 go into 18? Think about what we did yesterday. We're simplifying that. And you know that it will go into there 4 times. I will give you a hint. This is where you should be using your math journal. Okay? So at this point in your math journal, you should be saying something like 4 and remember, if your denominator is 4, your denominator in your mixed number stays 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Well, what do I have to add to 16 to get to 18? 2 is correct. Do I see that over there? In fact, I do, so I'm going to drag and drop. But you will notice I have one more box. It wants me to further simplify that fraction. We can also call 2/4 1/2. So therefore, I'm going to take the mixed number 4 and 1/2 and drag and drop. Look at side 4. It helps if I clear the screen for you. Okay, we're doing the same thing that we have done before. Let's look at number with 10 divided by 6. How could I write that as a fraction? Which number is going on top, 10 or 6? If you said 10, that is correct. Remember, that is our numerator because it is our dividend. So I will write 6. So therefore, now I'm ready to get my journal. And so I'm going to say, how many times can 6 go into 10? And I'm going to say 1. My denominator is 6. So 1 times 6 is 6 plus what gives me 10? 4. Very similar to the previous slide. You just lost your drag and drop option. Okay. At this point on this slide, is similar to what you have done before. You are simplifying this. You're going to be pulling the division sentence with it, and you're going to be making this into an improper fraction. So let's just start with this bottom one right here. 1 and 4 divided by 7. So this time, I want to turn this back into an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply. 1 times 7 is 7, plus 4 is 11. What is my denominator going to be? 7. So therefore, which equation would I pull over here to match 11 divided by 7? And if you said 11 divided by 7, that is correct. Let's look at one more. Let's look at this one, 3 and 1/5. First thing I have to do is turn it into an improper fraction. And if you forget what you're doing in your slides, your directions are down here at the bottom of your screen. So I'm going to multiply. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So I am looking for 16/5. And how do I know it's 16/5 or 16 divided by 5? Because of this fabulous denominator here. How else would you write this just as a regular old division problem? I would say 16 divided by 5. Okay, let's look at our next slide. And this is very similar. You can see Miss Wallace was practicing some before she did the video. Okay, so let's look at 2 and 1/6. Right here it wants me to turn it into an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13 out of 6. How would I write that as a division equation? Think for a moment before we move on. I would say 13 divided by 6. Is this similar to yesterday's work? I hope so. Okay. And here, goodness, Miss Wallace, you should have cleared your screen. You are matching this, okay? So you're going to move your checkbox to wherever it needs to go. Remember, if you do not finish this assignment in class today, it is homework. Guys, you have a test on Friday, so it's very important that you work hard this week to figure these things out. Good luck. You've got this.